Welcome to another edition of the Sports Court. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And today we have a full house here in the building.
Wow.
It's Michael, it's Tony, it's Renee, it's Shanna, it's Monday. Matthew here in spirit. How you guys doing?
Always. Oh, phenomenal, dude. It's Monday. It's a unseasonably warm Monday.
Oh my God, November.
Kind of stupid if you ask me.
That polyester must be a little hot on you, no?
Dude, I know. It honestly has been sweating since I got in here this morning. But you know what? It's totally worth it, dude. Totally worth it because, World Series winners or something.
Yeah, no, I would be real happy to wear a jersey of another team that wins the World Series. I'd be so excited to do that.
Okay, dude.
No, I'm just saying you're pumped, right?
I mean, I love this jersey, honestly.
No, I did tell you.
Jersey,
I mean, the team that it represents is terrible, but the logo, the graphics, very nice.
Fire.
Very nice.
Great throwback jersey.
So we could give you that. So much to discuss here, but we know where we have to start in the world of the National Football League.
6 for 101, 2 touchdowns. To Evans, touchdown, Tampa Bay.
How about that throw?
Sam Darnold blasted. Oh my goodness, did he take a hit? In trouble, what? Brings him down. Loft one for Odell Beckham Jr. Got it down. Touchdown.
Hoorah, hoorah.
All right. The New York Jets, after a 2017 victory over the Buffalo Bills yesterday, are 6-3. And no, you're not hearing things through 9 games. The New York Jets are 6-3. Really the surprise of the NFL. And this really kind of caps off the season that it's been. I mean, this is the pinnacle, defeating the Bills, who many feel are the cream of the crop when it comes to the AFC. And the Jets now, going into a bye week, sit a half game out of first place in the AFC East. No one could have seen this coming from a mile away.
Not even Michael.
Oh, no, I did.
No, besides Michael, he did. And, it was tough to take it seriously at the time. Obviously now, we see that it's, just about fundamentals. It's about camaraderie. It's about team chemistry. And the Jets just really have that going right now. And if you kind of just look at the scoring synopsis of this game, Buffalo got on the board early here towards the end of the first quarter with a 1-yard touchdown run by Josh Allen. That was really the best thing he did yesterday. He really was not crisp in terms of passing the ball. The Jets answered back right before the end of the first with a 53-yard field goal from Legatron, so that made it 7-3 in favor of the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen, another run. I don't know if you guys saw this touchdown run, but I mean, it was unbelievable. 36-yard run from Allen. I mean,
wow.
How do you
for a touchdown, right?
Yeah. How do you slow that down? I don't know how you tackle that.
You can't.
So that made it 14-3 Buffalo.
I was gonna say.
So I mean, we're more than halfway through the second quarter here. The Jets are down 14-3, and then honestly, in the back of my head, I was thinking, is this going to be like 41-10, or something? But the Jets, as they've done all season, just keep fighting back. Right before the end of the second quarter, Michael Carter, a 6-yard touchdown run. That made it 14-10 Bills going into the half. The Jets, third quarter, 4 minutes left in the third. James Robinson catches Zach Wilson's only touchdown pass of the game to make it 17-14 Jets. And the Jets never let up the lead. The Bills did tie it on a 51-yard field goal by Tyler Bass in the fourth. But that was their only scoring of the second half. So a 28-yard field goal by Greg Zerloin made it 20-17 Jets, a little under 2 minutes remaining. The Bills could not answer. They turned the ball over, and it's a Jets victory, and it's just pandemonia. I mean, it's unbelievable. No one saw this coming, from a mile away.
Should have rushed the field.
It's almost like a redefined version of what they had back in 2009, 2010.
I'd go back.
The running
98.
game, the defense, but hopefully a better quarterback for the future.
Quarterback.
And we talk about the running game here. So as a team, 34 carries, 174 yards. That's 5.1 yards a carry. Obviously Carter had that rushing touchdown. James Robinson, 48 yards and 13 carries. Zach Wilson also added 24 yards on the ground as well. So they're very efficient running the ball. And this is being down some linemen. You can't underestimate the loss of Vera Tucker. So that's why it's just so impressive. Guys are stepping up. Guys are in roles that they weren't expected to be in, but yet they're having success. And I mentioned running game defense. The defense sacks Josh Allen 5 times, forcing him into 2 interceptions. And one of those interceptions was courtesy of Sauce Gardner, who was really playing like an all-pro in his rookie season and really justifying that number 4 overall selection for the Jets. And really seems like a guy who should be a future captain, the way that he has played this season.
Unbelievable.
It really is. And just the fact that you look at these final lines at the end of the game, Josh Allen, 18 of 34, 205. I mentioned sacked 5 times, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 64, a rating of 46.8. And on the other side of the field, Zach Wilson, another low total in terms of the passing yardage here, but 154 yards passing, 1 touchdown, no picks, only sacked twice, 76.4 QBR, 101 rating. So at the end of the day, that's what it's all about. It's about winning games, and the Jets have won 6 out of their first 9 games as they head into a well-deserved bye week here. So I'll let everybody kind of heal up the bangs and bruises that they have and charge up for that all-important matchup with the Patriots in Foxborough in 2 weeks. But I have to say, I'm just thoroughly impressed, and it just seems finally like I guess it would be under Rex. There was a culture, there was, good feels because the other coaches were not leaders. But I guess, after kind of giving them a second chance here, because last year was a disaster, beginning of the year, the receipts come and all that. A lot of, criticism was headed at Robert Saleh, but it looks like he is a leader. He is that guy that we saw, running up and down the sidelines as a defensive coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, energized and just, having a connection with his players. And I think the thing for me that stands out the most is I had called out, Robert Saleh, he's a defensive coordinator. He comes over. I understand the offense is going to struggle. We got younger guys, but where's this standout defense? And we've seen that over the course of the past 5 weeks, allowing 17 points to the Dolphins, 10 points to the Packers, 9 points to the Broncos, 22 points to the Patriots, and 17 points to the Bills. That's all you could ask for. And I have to say, for the first time in a very long time, I am a firm believer in the New York Jets, and I'm really excited to see how the rest of this season will go. And as we head into the bye week here, Tony, what are your overall thoughts about the Jets moving forward and their prospects for some type of postseason run here, sitting at 6-3, a half game out of the division lead?
I would say, postseason berth very high. I would say, going deep into the postseason also pretty high at this point. When you think about it, you beat the Buffalo Bills. They are like pretty much the team to beat in the NFL here. You sacked Josh Allen 5 times. He threw 3 picks, right? 2 picks,
2 picks,
2 picks yesterday as well. Your defense was a huge aspect of the reason why you won this game. And that's how the saying goes, defense wins championships. If the other team doesn't score, if you stop them from scoring, it's going to be easier to outscore them and to win the game. Right. So, and you're like you're saying, this team kind of has this, I guess, like chemistry at this point. A lot of young guys are really stepping up. You can't really downplay the Sauce this weekend. He's playing like a veteran defensive player here. And when you look at what the Jets secondary was like last season, they were just getting walked all over, I feel. And it's a complete 180 here this year. It seems like everything is going right for them for the most part. And maybe it is, because they're picking up finally what Saleh is laying down. They have confidence in him. He has confidence in them. There's certainly something clicking here on this Jets team here. And that is what brings, a good team to the level of greatness. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, yeah, I would definitely expect the Jets to kind of come out of this bye week here, with some fire under their ass, looking to beat New England. I know Brian is looking forward to it as well. So yeah, dude. I mean, this is definitely a phenomenal group here, and it's honestly, it definitely, makes it exciting to watch.
Michael, thoughts?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Never have been surprised.
Never been surprised ever.
No, not with this team. I came into this. Look, I got the green. I got the Jets
green Jet Ranger.
I have to say, I love how that looks like. It looks
sick.
Like the shirt design, like it's like you have like overalls on or something.
Yeah,
right?
it's a me.
like a crisscross overalls.
But yeah, no. I mean, Jets. I mean, what can you say? I mean, it's finally Barnes. Finally, I know that it's a real thing when Barnes is convinced.
Mm-hmm. You think?
Are you comfortable with Zach after that game?
Yeah, I was just going to ask that. I mean, he had a great line. No.
Because the Bills defense is very good and probably better than the Patriots. But like I said, the final test. It's like the final exam
Patriots.
Is solving Belichick. I want no interceptions against Bill Belichick. I don't want cheesing.
Look at Zach and tell him.
Zach,
I'm not Zach.
I want 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, get it done.
That's
and
right.
We saw, we'll talk about it in a second, but what Belichick did to Sam Ellinger yesterday.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That's a perfect example of what Belichick does, inexperienced quarterbacks.
But he's trashed Sam Ellinger.
Oh yeah, it's ridiculous.
He's not even supposed to be on the practice squad.
Yeah,
he's not.
No. It's ridiculous.
Trust me, I got a good eye.
But I really just love that the foundational pieces are here. And it's funny too, because you think about the last couple of years, we had all said it's not about wins and losses. It's about seeing signs that this is building something sustainable. And for whatever reason, all of that has come together at once. You know what I mean? It's not like we're seeing impressive things, but they're losing. They're winning, and we're seeing the impressive things. So that's just so much to be excited about.
Couldn't believe it.
You can't believe it.
Remember at the shoot, I screamed and I was like, Tony, the Jets won.
Yeah, and I was like working.
Yeah.
And he was like, what? Oh, who cares, man?
Yeah, like, wow,
are the Astros playing?
Oh man,
they
but a lot to be excited about. And one guy too that I like that we don't talk about that much is wide receiver Garrett Wilson. I really think he's a future Pro Bowler as well. And it seems like him and Zach are definitely very much so on the same page. So I think this bye week is an important, part of their season here. 7 games left after the bye, and I would really like to see them go 5-2. I mean, we'll see if they're able to. I mean, they start out 6-3, so to finish up 5-2, I mean, it's not that out of the realm of possibility here. But like I said, it does start in Foxborough. But that was one of many exciting games on the schedule yesterday. Definitely some surprises. So really, just taking a look at this, we'll kind of run them down in order. And in a game that wasn't really a surprise, just because you felt like it could go either way. We saw the Chargers outlast the Falcons on a game-winning field goal here, 20-17. So they move to 5-3. Falcons go to 4-5. And this was very back and forth. The Falcons jump out to that 10-0 lead. But the Chargers, get a couple touchdowns there in the second quarter to go into the half with a 14-10 lead. And you look at who was responsible for the scoring here. Cordarrelle Patterson for the Falcons, back off injured reserve here, had a rushing touchdown in the first quarter. Also, Koo made a 29-yard field goal, but then Austin Eckler, who started out the season very slow and to the disappointment of many fantasy owners who took them in the top 5 pick of their draft, he had 2 touchdowns in this game, both in the second quarter, a 2-yard run and then a 1-yard pass. So that made it 14-10 going into the half. Cordarrelle Patterson answered back late in the third quarter with a 3-yard run, 17-14 Falcons, but it was all Chargers from that point on, as Cameron Dicker made a 31-yard field goal earlier on in the fourth quarter, and then as time expired to win the game 20-17. So it's kind of interesting. Herbert has kind of hit a little bit of a slump here because, you look at his numbers in this one, wasn't all that efficient, but at the end of the day, wins are wins in that division. While it hasn't gone the way that we had anticipated, the Chargers at 5-3, very much alive here. And you just got to hope that Herbert, gets more comfortable. And obviously too, down Mike Williams, down Keenan Allen, backs against the wall. I think it's impressive to gut a win out here because the Falcons team, it's not the joke of Falcons teams that we've seen in the past. They're definitely for real this year. One of the more exciting games of the day. How about the Miami Dolphins here? To Matt's dismay, but you have to give him credit. I mean, they're 6-3 as well. We have the tiebreaker over them, so
we do.
It's nice that we could say that. But 35-32 over the Chicago Bears. All of a sudden, Justin Fields, much maligned, has really turned it up, and I think that's a product of the Chicago Bears kind of doing more of a college offense with that run option, utilizing his athletic ability, but also making the smart throws. You look at this game, 123 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, ran for 178 yards on the ground, including a rushing touchdown. That's a record for a non-playoff game for a quarterback running the ball. So obviously playing to his strengths. But the Dolphins here, I mean, this was a back and forth game. You look at it, they led 7-3 after the first quarter, and then 21-17 at the half. Saunders missed a chip shot before the half there. But you look at the second half of this game, they scored 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. Bears answered back with a touchdown of their own, touchdown in the fourth, but just not enough as the Dolphins hang on here 35-32.
How did Claypool do?
Claypool, and, we look at the Dolphins, they aired it out. They only ran for 77 yards on the ground, but passed for 300 to a 21-30, 3 touchdowns, hitting Tyreek Hill up and down the field, 7 receptions, 143 and a score.
Of course.
Jalen Waddle also 5 receptions, 85 yards, and Jeff Wilson scored his first touchdown as a Miami Dolphin.
Wait, Hill had how many yards?
143.
Jeez.
So he's been off to a great start. And I have to say, Tony, this is one thing that I got wrong. I thought this would be a nightmare. Tyreek Hill, I feel like the patience isn't there with him. And Tyreek, just the fact that he wants to sprint down the field. So you thought Tua doesn't have the arm strength to get it there. Yeah. And believe it or not, how crazy is this number? So they've played 9 games. Tyreek Hill has 1,100 yards receiving already.
Holy shit.
Only 3 touchdowns, but 76 catches. I mean, that's he could break the receiving record for a single season.
What is it?
1963.
Oh my God!
So
yeah,
crazy year.
Yes,
was it set in 1963 too?
No, Calvin Johnson.
Oh,
hey, wait, some comments.
Yeah, we do have some comments, Tony. If you can fill us in.
Is Barnes a Jets fan?
My mother says, "Is Barnes a Jets fan?"
Of course, I'm a Jets fan.
Usually, when you're a Yankee fan, you're a Jets fan.
That's actually not true.
No, it's not true. It's Jets, Mets.
Jets, Mets, Yankees, Giants.
Yankees, Giants.
Like my dad.
Yes.
But we've been over it many
I don't know.
times.
I think it kind of varies.
The only reason I got to be a Jets fan is because my cousins had season tickets.
They allowed you.
And here we are.
They allowed you. And then
so
Chokery
that's how
comes
that
in.
happens.
Hi, guys.
Chokery.
Let's go Jets.
So Chokery's pumped up.
Jets, Jets.
He can't believe the start as well.
Soundbite.
And I know he's looking forward to the hockey segment.
You need more, Tony?
He was actually just texting me, Tony, before the show. And I was mentioning to you, about the whole Frederick Anderson debate. He's kind of thinking maybe Antti Ranta should take over the former New York Ranger at goalie. But we'll save that.
Overtime loss, baby. Let the whole game. What are you going to do? Devils on top. Different world.
But we will get to that in a second. But of course, we always appreciate Chokery tuning in. That's as good as it gets. But moving along here, and actually just really quick too, Tony, actually, before we get to the next game, I just was going to actually ask you before, are the Dolphins, very much impressive in your eyes? To me, it seems anyway, because of that elite ability on offense, that they could almost beat any team in the league at this point. And I never saw that coming the way Tua looked in his first couple of years in the league.
I mean, yeah, you definitely want to tip your hat a little bit to Tua here. Because like you said, you along with many other people, doubted his arm. And now here we go where, he has a great target in Hill, right? I mean, it's not just Hill, it's also Tua's work. And of course, with season with the concussion and everything like that, a lot of people were kind of counting him out, I suppose. The only thing, I feel like, I guess that would stop the Dolphins from, I want to say, going deep into playoffs here, I feel like would be their defense, to be honest.
Right.
Because I just feel like there were some games. I mean, didn't the Jets score a lot on
40
points, right? So I think there's a couple games like that. There's also a few games where I thought they like played down to their opponent's level. I think the Steelers was pretty low scoring. I think
Didn't score in the second half.
Didn't score in the second half. I mean, we know that you guys can score. It's like do it consistently is really what it is. So I think it's gonna take maybe some more time before I'm like really like, wow, these guys will be a threat in the playoffs. Because if they they see a team like the Bills, like the Chiefs, even teams like the Cowboys, the Eagles, those are teams that would have more confidence in just scoring consistently and playing good defense all around. But nonetheless, I mean, you can't doubt the talent there. They are going to be certainly a big threat.
Yeah, absolutely. And I can't wait for the second matchup of the season with them in the Meadowlands with the Jets. I think that's going to be great. Just our secondary stifling.
Chokri coming in hot. Tony with an eye.
With an eye.
Thought you were a Mets fan.
Which
Question
is
mark.
fine.
Why are the Astros?
Very good question by Chokri.
No, it is.
Astute observation. Michael
took it right out of my mouth.
I mean, I don't know about astute, but a good observation.
I would say astute.
It would be really weird if you didn't know it. Anyway, well, no, fair question. I am a Mets fan, obviously,
and an Astros.
I'm just a fan of baseball in general.
He is. He is.
You
got to admit that.
I'm a big Zach Greinke fan. This is his jersey from when he was on the Astros.
And tell the story how you're going to get the Blue Jays jersey, or right? Was it
Royals?
Sorry.
Why were you going to get a Royals jersey?
Because Zach Greinke was in the Royals.
But why? Where did this like Zach Greinke fandom come from?
Oh well, I just appreciate. I mean, he's obviously, especially then,
I mean, I think I know what it is.
He's a good pitcher. He's a funny dude.
Is he really that funny?
I think he is funny.
Oh, but did you meet him at the network?
No, never did.
Okay, I just was wondering where that came into play.
I saw him. I mean, he was there. He came in a couple of times, but nothing crazy. I could never like, oh, hey, Zach, how's it going? But I just thought, obviously, I cut up a lot of like post game sound of him. Seems like a really cool, down to earth guy. Very, keeps to himself. I do appreciate his mix up of pitches. He's got a great curveball now, especially since lost a few ticks on his fastball. He also got a lot of slack from Yankee fans at the time because he was on the Astros and people were making fun of his anxiety because he doesn't do well with the media, whatever, dude. Also, I wasn't gonna get his Royals jersey because that's where he was drafted, I believe. But then I saw this throwback Astros jersey and I had to go with this one, dude. So
I have a theory though, before you go to the comments, Tony. I think I know what it is with like Mets fans and why they love other teams' players. It's because they have had so many losing years that they have to like appreciate
resort to something else. Right. You wouldn't dare see me in another team's jersey. Are you kidding me?
Oh my
Are you kidding me, Tony?
All right, let's go to the comments.
That's just like I want immaturity. I don't know, stubbornness.
No, I appreciate
maturity.
Yeah,
I appreciate Tony's look on the game and his love for it. But I do appreciate his fandom and love for just the Yankees. It's just like beautiful.
Right.
Mary, because the Mets lost! ! What is she referring to?
Why I'm wearing an Astros shirt.
Oh, got it. Okay, got it. Yeah,
that makes sense.
Okay, and then first
is that Chokri. I became an Astros fan when they spanked the Yankees year after year.
Oh, we'll see. But yet again, a Mets fan resorting to another team. So that just shows the weakness, of the Mets fans. But hey,
I think it just shows how unbearable Yankee fans are.
But I mean, I think it's more unbearable. The Mets, all year we had to hear about the World Series. Look at us. And then when you tell them that they're going to lose the wild card series, they don't want to hear it. And then next thing we know, minced meat.
Brian, you got swept by the Astros.
Did you make it to the division series?
It doesn't matter.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
You guys might as well have not shown up.
I mean, I think I could say the same thing for the Mets. Why even make the playoffs at that point?
What are you talking about?
I mean, you're just going to lose in the first round. Why? Why
they get swept?
I mean, they almost did. Yeah.
I think you would have better chance like putting the fans at the plate. Put fans at the plate, dude.
Nothing.
Okay.
And we'll stay for baseball because we got to talk about the bloated contract the Mets gave Edwin Diaz.
Oh, don't even start with bloated contracts.
So
okay.
We did have
how's Garrett Cole's contract?
So the Cincinnati
Bengals.
Did well in
the playoffs.
He did well in the playoffs.
He did.
Oh, okay.
Come on,
save it for the baseball segment. 42-21, the Bengals over the Panthers. So really not much to dissect here. Baker actually came off the bench here. They had been going with PJ Walker. He did okay, but it was mop-up duty. But the only thing I was going to mention here, obviously, the Bengals, moved to 5-4, so that was a big win for them. But how about Joe Mixon tied the franchise record for touchdowns in the first half with 4, gets his 5th in the second half. So he was kind of much maligned. They had struggled running the ball. Obviously, no struggle this game. 22 carries, 153 yards. And as a team, they ran for 241 yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. Joe Burrow was very efficient in what he needed to do. 22 of 28, 206 yards and a score. So the Bengals moved to 5-4, and it's just funny how quick a course of a season could change. The Panthers last week were a made 31-yard field goal and a DJ Moore leaving his helmet on after a touchdown of having the division lead. Now they're 2-7. Season is over, but you could argue it was already over because it's hard to say that they would have what it takes to end up winning that division. But they obviously get blown out yesterday. The Packers are in some deep trouble here. They lose to the Lions 15-9 yesterday. And one of the surprises of the day and the ineptitude of their offense, Aaron Rodgers throwing 3 interceptions. And this was the last ranked defense in Detroit, but yet the Packers could not get anything going on offense. They can't run the ball. You look at combined A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones, 20 carries for 59 yards. That's simply not good enough. And of course, the Packers dealing with drops as well. And Rodgers after the game kind of said the same thing about how it's not over. Everybody's up their back, but it's like you say that week after week and you just keep losing. It's hard to really take you seriously. Do you guys feel like at 3-6? It's over for Green Bay here? Or?
Yeah. Come on.
Any
you don't
chance,
think
Michael?
so?
Any storybook run? To
No,
No, absolutely not.
for Aaron.
Yeah, eight games left. Do they go 8-0?
You know what? I've done it once with the Jets.
Yeah.
I'll do it again with the Packers. They will go 7-1 wild card. Get in. Aaron Rodgers holding up the finger as he's running out to keep it going, baby.
And in making the Super Bowl, the all green Super Bowl.
It will be the future Aaron Rodgers versus the past Aaron Rodgers, Zach Wilson, in the Super Bowl. And it'll be the first time since the 3rd Super Bowl that the Jets win.
Or get there. How about that?
I was telling Renee, it's been since 2010 since we've been in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It's 2022, Barnes.
Longest playoff streak in the NFL.
No, it's great.
Playoff less.
Dude,
streak,
I love
guess you
that,
could
though.
say.
You like that.
Yeah. It's our time.
Yeah.
It's obviously our time. And who's time? Oh, we're going to say something?
Well, what do you think, Brian?
Do I
Green
think
Bay?
as far as are they going to turn it around?
Yeah. What do you think?
I don't think so.
Really?
No, I think
Aaron
they
Rodgers
look
look bad, though. I know. I'm just,
They look so bad, dude. Aaron
Yeah.
Rodgers. Oh,
I just- it'd be
He's
great
checked
if I
out.
do predict
No,
that.
I think what'll happen though, they'll finish around 500, honestly. But they're not going to make the playoffs, and who
No
knows
shot.
what his future will hold. Another team that's not going to make the playoffs, the Colts get blown out by the hands of the Patriots, who looked dead in the water a couple weeks ago. Win back-to-back games here, 26-3. And I mentioned, inexperienced quarterbacks going up against Bill Belichick, and that's exactly what we were dealing with Sam Ehlinger yesterday. And I think it's crazy too. The Patriots, Mac Jones just is not good, and it's kind of crazy because everybody had given him so much hype going into this season based off making the playoffs in his rookie year, but only 147 yards through the air, score. Ehlinger threw for 103 yards, 3.6 yards an attempt. That's the lowest I've ever seen a quarterback, per attempt there. And then he was sacked 9 times, Tony. So the Colts, I don't know. I don't know how you stick with Ehlinger. They have Matt Ryan as the 3rd string inactive quarterback.
Why?
They want to give Ehlinger his fair shot, but I feel like this is ridiculous.
Dude. Yeah,
You're
done.
You're 3-5. You still could rally. I don't know. I just don't see how Ehlinger gives you the best shot to win. But you feel at 5-4, and very much alive for the playoffs, so that New England is a fraud, though, in a sense that they can beat weak teams, but when it comes to the top talent in the league, they just don't have what it takes this year. Or what do you think?
I guess at this point, right?
It seems
Don't
like
have
they
what it
just
takes,
take
dude.
advantage of inexperienced
Yeah.
quarterbacks, but it's like they're not lighting up the scoreboard,
No.
and they don't have elite defensive talent in my eyes.
Unfortunately, not.
But they are 5-4, so you got to give them credit there. In a very closely contested game, the Vikings slip away here, 20-17 over the Commanders.
We actually do have a comment from before about this. Your thoughts on the Commanders versus Vikings play when Curtis Samuel scores in triple coverage
Yes.
as ref collides into the defense.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those things. It's unfortunate the ref was in the way there, but there's nothing you could do. I mean, what are you going to call pass interference on the ref?
I guess, but
you can't do that.
But like that's so shot.
Maybe the ref gets fined.
Maybe he had some money on the game.
Maybe he was chilling with Lundqvist before the game.
Yeah, smoking a reefer, dude.
But I mean, the Vikings here sit at 7-1 after this victory. And I mean, it's really impressive. You know, since Kirk Cousins have been there, I mean, they definitely underachieved. They've only won one playoff game. They've given him hundreds of millions of dollars. But maybe this is finally the year. Maybe he needed a good head coach. TJ Hawkinson paying dividends there already in his first game as a Viking, 9 receptions for 70 yards. Justin Jefferson, as always, starring here, 7 catches, 115 yards and a score. And I think even though it was disappointing for Washington, I've been impressed the way they've looked since going to Taylor Heineke.
Mm-hmm.
He only threw for 149 yards, did throw 2 touchdowns. That 1 interception killed him at the end. So I think they're going to be a team that's going to hang around till the end of the year. But as far as the Vikings are concerned, Tony, what do you think about them moving forward? Do you think they're a true contender in the NFC?
No, they get knocked out first week of the playoffs.
Really?
Yeah.
So it's just one of these things. All this great banner regular season, all for nothing.
Yeah.
And what is it? Defense? Is it Cousins in a big spot?
Cousins in the big spot, dude. Never works.
Yeah. It's almost like Halak in the big spot.
Dude, it's not Halak's fault. Dude, save it for the hockey side, honestly.
And as I correctly predicted, the Raiders lose again, 27-20.
Kiss of death, Tony.
I mean, it really is the kiss of death. I mean, the Jags, stay alive here at 3-6.
Ugh.
Raiders move to 2-6 here, and it's just a complete waste of Devontae Adams. He 10 catches, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. And the running game was okay, but just not enough on defense. And they were up, I believe, 17-0 in this game as well. This is their 3rd double-digit lead that they've blown this year. I mean,
what is that?
But where does the blame fall? I mean, do you go right to Derek Carr, Josh McDaniels, both of them? I mean, what do you think here?
Well, I mean, was there like just lack of scoring from them in the fourth quarter?
They got shut out in the second half.
I mean, you got to kind of blame Derek Carr.
McDaniels is the play caller, but it's Carr. The record's always been under 500. Hasn't won playoff games.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what's the path forward here for the Raiders?
I don't know, but I can tell you, Matt Gabriel thinks the Raiders are blowing it, dude.
What do you expect?
Retool?
I mean, really?
Right?
They still have the fog of
But
Gruden.
They just traded all that capital to get Devontae Adams, the big record-setting deal. I mean, is it as simple as they try to acquire a top quarterback? However,
they were trying to put a Band-Aid.
No more
Carr for Russell Wilson?
No.
Broncos Nation. That's right.
So they have no draft capital, nothing to look forward to.
Well, I mean, I think it was just I don't know if it was 2 first-round picks. I almost want to look it up. But,
unbelievable.
I know it's definitely their first-round pick this year.
Unlimited.
Wait, who is this?
You don't know about Russell Wilson?
Gruden Fogg.
Mike.
Sometimes we all need an alter ego.
Yeah.
And my alter ego is Mr. Unlimited.
And when did he say this?
Yo, can you pull it up for him? Come on, Tony.
This is definitely a couple of years ago.
This is definitely a couple of years ago. It's Sierra's in it. It's embarrassing for the whole family, really. She's a part of the skit.
Who is Sierra?
Sierra, you hear in the background.
And do we okay. I was just gonna say, do we know when this is from?
I don't know. No, I think it's pretty recent, man. I think it's more recent than we think because NFL teams are making fun of him now.
Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the typical boring, Russell, the robot Russell, the one you guys love to know. Real exciting. Yeah, real exciting. But anyways, everybody has to have an alter ego, right? And I've been thinking about what my alter ego would be, and I think I have an alter ego. His name's Mr. Unlimited. Yeah, you got to be unlimited. You got to have a thought process of being unlimited. So when people ask you, what you're thinking about or what you want to do in life or where you want to go, you got to be unlimited. Tell them I'm unlimited. You know what I mean? So when they ask you certain questions like,
brings you motivation, Russell?
Mr. Unlimited.
Who's your role model, Russell?
Unlimited.
Who's your go-to person for advice, Russell?
They think Pete Carroll, they think this person, think that person. Love you, Pete, but it's Mr. Unlimited. Tell him. Hey guys, Russell here. Yes, the
biggest fraud in the NFL. Remember I told you that story that like he came in and like basically is pretending to be a quarterback. He's like not really like he's like so psychotic that he's like playing a character.
I guess what I would say is I just hope
little bit of an oddball,
especially like the younger generation, they don't see a video like that and actually take it seriously and it doesn't damage them. That's what I'm really worried about because there's just too many videos
Barnes
out there.
is worried about the youth.
I really
That's what we are.
Really
we are here at Downtime. I appreciate that, Barnes.
Yeah, I mean, you know
it's sad. There's going to be kids going out there and they're going to be like to their teachers, blah, blah, blah. You got to get A's. Why do I need A's when I'm unlimited?
I really hope not. There's no way.
I don't know. But by the way, I did look up the compensation. It was first and second round pick in last year's draft. So they're out of the water there. They still have their draft pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you had, I know it's both, Tony, but if you had to give me something here, moving forward and for the Raiders to grow, more important to let go of Carr or McDaniels?
I guess Carr.
Right? Because it's like how many there's always excuse with Carr, the talent around him, the coach,
the injury.
You know what I mean? And now it's like he was the one saying, "Oh, we have to get Devontae Adams. We have to get Devontae Adams," and they're 2-6.
Yeah. So come on.
So just a complete mess there.
Oh my God, we got a comment here from Julian. Oh yeah, shit. No, it's over for Carr. Says Matt Gabriel as it came in the last second. Julian says, "Man, I wish we could have Sauce and Trent McDuffie play side by side. Dude is legit, just like Sauce. Jets would be easy. The best defense."
I have to say, McDuffie. I don't.
I'm not.
Trent?
Look him up.
Can you look it up, Tony?
Can we get some? Yeah, here we go. We're pulling it up. By the way, thank you for the comment.
Oh yeah. Appreciate.
We're gonna
that.
Trent McDuffie. Okay. Oh,
is he on the Chiefs?
Cornerback for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Okay.
All right. But I mean, listen. I mean, even if he is having a good year, I mean, I'm happy with what we have, honestly, to work with.
What?
5'11", 193 from Cal.
What the fuck? I thought that was a storm.
I thought something was going on outside.
Yeah, me too.
4-yard dash, 4.44. Can I just get stats? Like,
what year was he drafted?
NFL.com. Like, what the hell, dude? Year one starter.
No, he definitely.
Okay, he's a rookie.
Oh, he was a first-round pick for the Chiefs.
Drafted first round pick 20. Yeah.
Okay.
But listen, I'm good with what we have.
I mean, I'm very.
I think we
impressed.
have the horses. You know.
I mean, that wouldn't be bad.
I just hope a lot of Jets fans out there are just happy and can appreciate where we are going into the bye week.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Couldn't be in better shape.
Well, you could be.
And I was just going to mention before we get to the next game here, ETN has been going off already. Another 2-touchdown performance yesterday, 109 yards. So I think that's big. You know, he's really stepped up after missing his rookie season. If you look at what he's done so far, 120 carries, 680 yards. That's 5.7 yards per attempt, 4 touchdowns. So really a piece for them to build off as he, regains that chemistry with his college teammate, Trevor Lawrence. So
remember when you were really ragging on him after week 1?
He had terrible games.
Sucks.
But you know what? Jamar Chase did that first week of preseason. He dropped every single pass he was throwing. Now he's a star. So stuff changes quickly. And speaking of stuff changing quickly, the directions of both the Seahawks and Cardinals have dramatically changed within the past year. The Seahawks once again win 31-21 over the Cardinals. So the Cardinals fall to 3-6. Seahawks 6-3. Geno once again balling out.
Unbelievable.
With his arm, with his legs. And, he did have one interception that was actually a pick 6, but he was able to rebound from it. Kenneth Walker, the rookie, has really starred filling in for Rashad Penny. He had 109 yards and 2 touchdowns. Geno also added 38 yards on the ground. Made a big completion to kind of clinch the game down the stretch. The Cardinals were going in their all-out run defense because the Seahawks were up 3 trying to run clock. Noah Fant went for 51 yards, so that set him up for a touchdown to make it 31-21, and obviously that's where this game fell. But also, I mean, the Seahawks the first couple of weeks had one of the worst defenses in the NFL, and 21 points, that's just kind of average, but you could just tell the talent is there. They were able to get, in Murray's face. They sacked him 5 times. I mean, are you now, Tony, a believer in Geno, in the Seattle Seahawks, in Pete Carroll to be a contender here in the NFC?
Yeah, I would say yes. I mean, Pete Carroll, I think, is clearly working wonders here. With Geno Smith, we mentioned how Smith never really got like a good shot with like
Both
With
New York
structure.
teams.
solid with exactly with like a good coach with solid pieces around him.
Start at West Virginia.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like he is the talented quarterback here. He always had something bad going about him each year, whether it was the Jets or wherever. So I think we're kind of seeing him finally in the NFL, which is great to see him finally get this opportunity. And I think for him to be sticking with it, I think he certainly deserves to be successful. And I think you're seeing all that hard work finally paying off. And I mean, it seems like they have a great culture and a good team around Geno Smith as well. I mean, when you have Metcalf, I mean, that's a great tool in and of itself too. I don't know if you saw, I think it was Walker's second touchdown at the end of the game. Where I think he took direct snap and then like ran to the left side, and Metcalf, instead of blocking, he like faked like as if he was catching the ball to get the defensive player to follow him, and Walker had like a clear run just straight into the end zone.
Yeah.
I thought it was something that like the commentators, I guess, maybe just missed it or something, didn't even talk about, but I thought it was so cool. Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks, can't believe you're saying this, but I mean, clearly better off without Wilson. They're having a phenomenal season right now.
And if the Broncos crumble, they'll have very high draft picks in this year's
true.
draft to look forward to.
Yeah.
Before we get to the
Couple
pathetic
comments.
post-divorce victory for Tom Brady, if you could update me on the comments here.
Yes. I hate the NFL. Which looks like it's same image as Julian, so maybe just change his name. I don't know. He said, I just love
Wonder what family he's from.
Jets beating Bills. As a Vikings fan, it almost made me shed a tear. That's pretty dope. And then Matthew says, I'm so tight. I had Waller in my starting tight end spot in fantasy. Picked up Fant this week purposely because Kittle was on a bye and Waller has been hurt. And then I forgot to start Fant.
That's a tough one, bud.
That's comical.
A tough one, bud.
That sounds like you, Maddie.
Yeah, it does.
That
So
really
Waller
is a
basically
classic.
fucked me. I guess I fucked myself, he says. And then he says, Tony, you really are something else wearing that Astros shit. Look at you, dude.
Look at you.
You can't tell me it's not a cool jersey. You can't tell me it's not.
It represents the wrong thing. Though. That's the
Yeah,
problem.
Tony, give him the
Represents the wrong
give him
thing.
the-
What
give him the-
does it represent, dude?
Tony, give him
Cheaters.
the-
Just there's no moral when it comes to the Astros.
You realize the Yankees hired one of those cheaters, right?
Yeah. Oh, burn.
But that's not. It had nothing to do with it.
Oh,
It was
right.
Al-
You don't really
Altuve.
believe that, do you?
Yeah, it was the hitting. It's not the pitching. You can't. There's nothing to do for pitching.
You're not telling me
Jersey
they all
sucks
knew
ass.
about it. They all knew about it.
Oh yeah.
Matt, this jersey sucks ass. You're morally fucked.
Yeah, exactly. You are. But anyway, it was a snooze fest. But the
Oh
Tampa
my
Bay
God.
Bucks come from behind to defeat the Los Angeles Rams 16-13 yesterday. Brady, the crazy drive in the fourth quarter, no timeouts.
Yeah, it was so
The
crazy.
couple throws here.
Dude, do they not freaking him on ESPN so much? Like, just like
please,
he could throw a
please.
5-yard pass and it's, oh my God, 40 something.
But once again, the Bucks, struggled to score, as do the Rams, and maybe some of that's a Super Bowl hangover. Brady, 36 of 58,
He should, Tony.
only for
They went-
280 yards,
I think so.
4.8 yards per attempt. But that touchdown to Cade Otton, who's filling in this year, obviously for Gronk, who recently retired. You make anything of this, Tony? Are you going to tell me now that Brady's going to go on this fairy tale run to the Super Bowl and rub it in Giselle's face? I mean, what's honestly going to come of this as the Bucks 4-5, tied for the division lead with the Falcons?
I mean, he's been undefeated since the divorce, right?
One game, but yeah. But I'm
Nah,
saying,
I don't
what
think so.
lies ahead for the Bucks here?
What's their schedule like?
Well,
Is it a tough schedule?
I mean, I think it's manageable, but they can't score though. They have no offensive line. They can't run the
16.
ball. So I think they're in trouble here. So they play Seattle
Yeah.
in Germany next week, and then they got a bye week, and then they play the Browns, the Saints, the Niners, the Bengals, the Cardinals, the Panthers, and the Falcons to finish out the year. Yeah, I don't think they're making the playoffs.
I mean, they could beat the Browns, I guess.
But that's a tough matchup with
I
that
know.
running game.
yeah,
and,
with Chubb.
the
They
Browns
could beat the
defense.
Saints.
Could keyword
They
and
could
Marcus
beat-
Lattimore, he always locks up
Yeah.
Evans.
They could beat the Cardinals. They could beat the Panthers. They could beat
Falcons is a tough
Falcons is
game.
another one, yeah.
So I don't think they're making the playoffs.
What would their record have to be to make the playoffs, you think?
I mean, I think you got to be 10-7. So they have to go
They gotta win
6-2.
6 games here. Yeah.
Playoffs for Brady or no?
Not likely.
Or everything's rigged. They'll make the playoffs.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh my god,
Tony?
I think.
Or if not, he comes back next year, wins the Super Bowl. Yeah,
I
you
think
know how it is.
With Kim Kardashian.
Yeah,
They're
it's just-
married by the end of next year.
Yes.
And then divorced the following season.
Yeah.
I think no playoffs. My mother says I think it's cool, Anthony. Thank you, Mom. Finally. Thank you.
But so you were saying playoffs, Tony, or no playoffs?
No playoffs, I said.
No playoffs.
No, he said no
Okay.
go.
Just making sure. All right. And then there was just one other game, the Sunday nighter, and definitely was an odd game. Didn't go the way that we all anticipated. And somehow the Titans pushed the Chiefs to the brink here, falling though 20-17 in overtime with Malik Willis 5 of 16 for 80 yards. Obviously, Henry did star in this one, 115 yards rushing. They ran for 172 as a team. And the reason why it was odd is the Chiefs, Mahomes passed for 446 yards, only threw for 1 touchdown, did have the 1 interception, sacked 4 times, but they kept stopping them late in drives. The running game was mediocre, 77 yards on the ground for them. He had 2 receivers with 10 receptions, Kelsey 10 for 106, Smith-Schuster 10 for 88. And I think he hit 11 different receivers, which is a very high number. And I just thought it was unbelievable that on a one-dimensional offense and a defense that I don't think is that great, that the Titans, were able to hang in here. And I know they've given the Chiefs problems in the past here. But the fact that, you look at this game and, between the second half and overtime, they hold the Chiefs to 1 touchdown and then, that game-winning field goal. What do you make of this, Tony? Is it anything to, react to, or do you just feel like the Titans are well coached despite the deficiency with Ryan Tannehill out at quarterback? And it's just a tough matchup for the Chiefs. Is that what you make of it? Or, what do you think?
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. Looking at this game, because, I did actually watch this whole game here. And, the first few minutes was just all Kansas City. It seemed like Tennessee couldn't get anything going on offense. Derrick Henry was actually getting stopped at the line quite a few times. I think the linebacker for the Chiefs here, he was just licking his chops, kind of filling holes where he thought Henry would be. And then, the first drive, it was Mahomes, it was Kelsey all day. It looked like Kelsey was almost untouchable. And then, of course, mixing in Juju there, and even Kadarius Toney had a couple of looks as well. And they were getting chippy. Tennessee was pissed off. They're cutting to Tennessee's coach, and he was
Vrabel
so
is always
tight.
Always
so tight, dude.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden,
He needs to calm down.
he doesn't. He needs to
He
take a
thinks he's
breath.
the man too. It's like, bro, you haven't really accomplished
Yeah.
anything as a coach yet, so just take it easy.
But then all of a sudden, I feel like there was a couple plays where Henry's getting big runs, and all of a sudden he's running downhill. Defense was nowhere to be found, and Kansas City, I just feel like after the first drive, I think they were up 9-0, I think, or something, or whatever it was. I think maybe they were just like almost in neutral, like, oh, we can coast through this one. Big first drive. This is gonna be the whole game.
Yeah, 9-0. Missed the 2-point conversion.
Yeah, and
No,
the
extra
field
point.
goal,
Actually,
extra point they missed.
Bucker.
Very odd. I thought very odd. I think they just kind of sat back and thought they could just kind of chill. When in reality, it was still early in the game, and Tennessee kind of, I guess, pestered them. But I think down the line, like you said, Tennessee doesn't really have great defense. With Tannehill out, even with Tannehill.
But at least he can throw.
Yeah,
Willis just can't
do
throw.
jack shit.
Yeah.
So there really shouldn't be a reason why Kansas City has so much of an issue. It shouldn't be overtime, shouldn't be close, shouldn't be a 3-point game at all. I don't know. Kansas City just complacent, overlooking. I don't know, dude. But it was definitely weird.
And despite the struggle to score for them, and despite picking up a lot of yards, do you still feel like especially with the Bills falling to the Jets, that they're the best team in the AFC?
Kansas City,
The Jets?
No,
Who are you saying is the best team in the
yeah,
AFC?
I was asking both of you guys, but I'm guessing you're saying Jets best team in the AFC.
Hands down, bar none.
you're
Tony?
thinking, you were asking me who's best team in the AFC.
Yeah, well, I was asking, do you think Kansas City
Tony's honored.
is? If not,
You're asking me.
who's the best team
Barnes?
in the AFC?
I mean,
Barnes.
I mean, I guess the Bills.
Okay.
Right?
So then if the Bills lost to the Jets, that makes the Jets bust.
That's not really how it works. This isn't like
That's how it works for me.
this isn't Game of Thrones. Oh, you kill the king, you become
no.
the king.
Yes,
Like,
it
no,
is.
I don't know.
So you're saying the Bills?
Yeah.
Okay. So
What do you think?
I think the Chiefs, but I mean the Jets have a chance to play them. So let's see what will happen there. But obviously, too, I mean the Bills, everyone says is number 2, but it's like if they match up with the Jets, we saw it happen yesterday. So that's kind of a spot for them to sneak in. But time will tell. Second half of this year.
So I'm gonna go get on the phone with him tonight. He's gonna call you. He's gonna get the receipts.
Oh man, but what a week 9 it was.
Oh,
and,
my
and
God.
one more game tonight between the Baltimore Ravens and the New Orleans Saints. The Saints once again going with Andy Dalton.
Oh, wow.
Even though
I can't
Winston's
believe
healthy,
he's still around.
I know, and he has a terrible primetime record, kind of like Kirk Cousins. But we know the Saints, their defense is pretty good. We know what Kamara does. So kind of a tough game, to gauge here. I mean, they're giving Baltimore 1.5 points as a road favorite. Total set at 46.5. So they're kind of expecting mid-level scoring here. Jackson had a couple huge games at the beginning of the year. Has kind of quieted down now. So kind of tough. They've had some problems finishing as well. Blowing some games in the fourth quarter. What do you see in this one, Tony? Between the Ravens and the Saints, what direction are you headed here?
I think I'm gonna say Ravens here. Lamar has one of those games where it's him all over the place. I feel like he's throwing well, limiting turnovers, running the ball, keeping the defense on their heels here. And they're just pumping all day, rushing, passing, high scoring game here. Give me the Ravens, dude.
Any total? I mean, like just a score.
Right. I guess what's the over under?
46.5.
46.5. I think it's gonna go over that, honestly. 46, right?
And is it a close game or no?
I would say maybe Baltimore 27-24.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay, so close game. Who do you think's got this one, Michael?
Be more.
Yeah, Jackson all over the field. Hate to be boring here and agree with both of you guys, but I just think Jackson will be too much for them to kind of,
Unless they put Winston in early, then we can have a battle, as Matt would say.
We never know, but I think they'll run for 300 yards on the ground between Jackson and all of their running backs, and the Ravens will win this one 20-10. Low scoring games to take the under. But looking forward to that Monday Night Football, Buck, Aikman, the whole 9 yards. But now it's time to switch gears here to the world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot.
Big hit on the far side by the car! He flattens Jordan's skull! Oh my goodness! That's the gun right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
All right, Tony. So a couple of things to discuss here. But first thing, obviously, as we all know by now, the Rangers losing overtime yesterday, 3-2 to the Red Wings. My first question to you, and I know what you're going to say about Halak, but just from a general question here, after a couple of days off, after losing to the Bruins, why was he starting in the first place?
That's a good question. I mean, I would imagine maybe they had a lot of games. I would in the past 5 days, I guess they just wanted to give Shesterkin a break.
But I mean, I think just a complete wasted opportunity. I mean, I know it's early in the year, but I mean,
I don't think so.
If you have 2 days in between games, though, there's no reason to play a backup.
I mean, I guess not, but obviously maybe something happened with Shesterkin or something where they wanted to give him extra rest, or they wanted to get Halak a rep. Not Halak.
Jarosov, right? Isn't it Jarosov?
No, it's not pronounced Jarosov.
We need hockeyreference.com.
Yeah. It's something weird.
But and I'm going to say,
nonetheless,
too,
dude. Go ahead.
I want to say, first of all, I need to ask you guys this. So I know, Michael, on Dave's Saturday show, you have called in before, but have you guys ever called into their
Morning?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Because I want to call in because Rick, I feel like would know better than anybody.
Yaroslav
I want
Halak.
to
Yaroslav.
Yaroslav. I
Yaroslav
want to hear
Halak.
his thought
Yaroslav.
process in what he's in response to the whole backup goalie. If it's overdone, that the amount of times that they play. I'm just so curious because he obviously was an NHL goalie. Like, what his thoughts are on that?
Why don't you do
Is
it?
it I want to. I just hope I don't have to.
Why
wait
you're the Black
2
Ranger now,
hours,
Michael?
2 hours to get on
This is
the
sick.
phone. But it's like,
Could
why
switch
a
to
star
Ranger.
goalie that's in his mid-20s, like Igor Shesterkin, can't start 70 out of 82 games?
You know what
why
it
is
is?
that so crazy?
It's the culture.
Yeah, but it's terrible.
Soft.
Terrible. What do you think he'll say, honestly?
Who?
Tony, if I ask Rick that question,
I wish I could have had a backup goalie.
He would probably say something along the lines where hockey's the type of sport where at any given moment your backup could be your starter. So it's important to get them reps throughout the season, just so they stay fresh. That sounds like a real Rick answer.
I love doing this with you here, but I want to because I always go back to why I feel like he's the pinnacle of goalies and just how they used to play. In
What,
the
he
old
played every
days.
game in the season?
No. I just want to know your guess. Most games he started in one season.
Oh, most games? I'm gonna get crazy. Back then, I'm trying to think how many. I would say
it was
around like 85% of the games.
So
90%.
I will have to do the math, but 68 games in 1993.
Who's that?
Oh gosh,
Patrick
yeah.
Waugh.
Give me the math
Look at,
here.
I think
68.
Brodeur, they used to call him Mr. Combustible
So
Man.
82.9%. And let's just take a look at Brodeur here. You always hated Brodeur, right?
He hates him because of what he did to his sister.
But what about
wife's
just
sister.
as a goalie though?
His wife's sister?
Sister-in-law, dude.
His sister-in-law.
But what do you think though as a goalie though? I mean,
Honestly, he's a phenomenal goalie.
okay. And
So
of
let's see here.
course,
Where is he from? Serbia?
Russia, Moscow,
Russian Federation.
oh, I love this.
capital. Dude.
Take a guess, Brodeur.
What was it close to like 95% of the games?
But I'm just saying, not percentage, Tony. We know it's 82. How many games? The most that he
What did I have? 65.
68 for
Brodeur
Waugh.
had 76.
78.
78.
So enough of this nonsense.
on.
The backup needs to play 20 games.
Dude,
Get the hell out of here.
No, I used to. That was the best seeing Brodeur in there every night.
Every
knowing,
night, every night
knowing
he's in there.
no one's gonna get you.
I mean, Tony, it's a disgrace. I cannot wait to call Rick because the Rangers are wasting opportunities here.
They didn't lose because of Halak last
but
night.
they've
That
lost
has
every game he
nothing-
started. Every
So
single game he
what?
started.
So-
So what? We're gonna lose every game that he plays. That's a good strategy going to game. Oh well, we need to give Igor a rest, but Halak, he gives us a good shot. And then when they ask Gallant in the press conference, he's lost every game. Is there any concern there? No. We're fully confident. He's lost every game. He's doing a good job.
It was not his fault that he lost last night
How is it not?
because the Rangers absolutely dicked him. And I'll tell you why. Obviously, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing, but Rangers are up 2-0, quick and early. They were getting some good looks, obviously, against Detroit here. Very much in control in the first period. Excuse me. I want to say I think there was one power play goal, one full strength goal here. It was a better job on the power play. Kako started off full strength, and then the offense was nowhere to be found for the rest of the game. And I'll tell you, second period, right early in, you have a goal from Luff here. It was a deflected goal. It was like a slapper from the point here. Goals deflected down low by in front of Halak. Nothing Halak can do about that. That is, a Rangers defenseman having to win a battle in front of his own net. Okay, the guy lost it. There was a body in front of the net. He tipped the puck into the net. Nothing Halak could do. Second goal in the second period, right?
Barnes doesn't want to hear that.
No,
I'm listening.
That's just what it is. Second goal in the second period here. Honestly, I don't know what the Rangers were thinking. There was a bad turnover in the offensive zone. You had probably three guys deep. Puck gets turned over. Detroit moves it quickly to neutral zone. It's 2-on-2. And for some reason, the Rangers make a line change. So Benjamin's line makes a line change, and it's like it turns into a 4-on-2. I mean, what are you going to do? It was a walk-in goal, bro. Literally, the Rangers abandoned Halak.
But
in this play.
who's making the line change?
I mean, it could be Gallant calling for it. I doubt Gallant called for that line change. There's no way.
But the players really
No.
make line changes themselves, or you're saying an assistant?
If they know, no. If they know, like, oh, like it's the puck went in the neutral zone, maybe our defensemen have it. They'll just go. We've been out for a while. Line change. They'll do it.
Okay, so you think
That
they
is a
jumped
bad
the gun?
line change by Zibanejad's line. Yeah, absolutely their fault. And again, they literally like left Halak out to dry. Like it's on. It was so fucking stupid. And then of course, again, no backup from the offense here in the Rangers for the rest of the time. And then overtime, power play goal in overtime.
Bad penalty by Keandre Miller.
A horrible penalty. He gets beat on the defense, tries to make up for it, draws in a penalty here. And just like that, you have a 4-on-3 in overtime. I mean, what are you gonna do, dude?
I don't know though. I think it's just hard to say, and I'm not just saying this for argument's sake, but they were in the same situation there in overtime, down a man, that Igor couldn't just find a way to not let a puck through for a couple minutes. It's not like we needed him to do it for 15 minutes, Tony.
Sure, if you have Igor in there, maybe he doesn't give the goal when it was like a 2-on-none. Okay, maybe he doesn't give the goal in overtime in the power play. Maybe he doesn't give up the first goal off the deflection. But what
all I'm saying, and I'm being dead serious here, and it's a combination of Halak and Gallant, that I'm worried that instead of being, winning the division
like the Yankees
and being the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference for the playoffs, that we're going to finish 2nd and be like the 6th seed and then losing the first round. That's what I'm worried because of this ineptitude, these bad decisions. That's what I'm worried about.
It's disappointing. And as you could see, the Devils this year, the past couple of years, they done it from the ground up.
Big overtime win in Calgary, dude.
And what are we now? 8-2?
Something like that, I think.
But see, the strengths of the Devils doesn't let the Rangers off the hook. And don't you think that Tony's letting them off the hook a little too quick?
He does that with every team he loves.
What are you talking about?
I mean,
I'm not letting anyone off the hook. It was a stupid loss.
I think they're off to a poor start.
But I'm not going to say it's because of Halak that they lost. It's ridiculous. It's because of bad decisions their players had on the ice. Bad decisions on the ice.
But I just think I don't want to hear about a long season. Like, first of all, Shesterkin, wear and tear. You look at his numbers. He hasn't even started 60 games ever in his career. He could start 70 this year. He'll still be fresh. And it's like, when you have 2 days off, I'm sorry, there's no excuse to have a backup goalie. You can say it's not his fault, it's not his fault. But I'm telling you right now, I know Shesterkin would have got him to a shootout, and I like the Rangers' chances in the shootout here against Detroit.
You can't say no.
It's just a little pathetic.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. You could say that with anyone, though. If Lundqvist in there, we let him for the shootout, and I like Lundqvist in the shootout.
Yeah, but he's not terrible like Halak. This was Halak's first decent game, and when we
needed
him,
he had a phenomenal game, actually.
But when we needed him late,
he had 33 saves, and he was getting so many like looks off of rebounds too. He was all over the place. He had a great game, actually, and I don't think you can knock him for it. It's his team fucked him, dude. I'm telling you. Telling you. Halak's gonna be a great backup. I'm telling you.
And now, looking at the schedule, I know it sounds ridiculous, and here we are in November, but I think tomorrow against the Islanders is a must win. They embarrassed you last time. They embarrassed you last year. It's clearly not a good matchup. I don't want to see Halak starting to give Shesterkin another day off.
Well, that's another thing. Obviously, Gallant look forward, and we've talked about the back-to-back days. Maybe resting Shesterkin against Detroit here wasn't a terrible idea.
And, just looking ahead. So then it's a road trip, really, one home game sprinkled in with Arizona. But it's, Islanders Tuesday, then at Detroit, at Nashville, home for Arizona, and then at Seattle, at San Jose, at the Kings, at the Ducks. And while those 4 teams that they play consecutively on the road aren't in the upper echelon of the league, I feel like it's just a tough, long road trip, grueling. So I think this is where they need to kind of hone in, and out of these next 8 games, I mean, I think they need to definitely win 5 and really should win 6.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. And I think if you look at the past few years, Rangers on the West Coast trips have been actually very successful. And I'm absolutely all for it. I think there's going to be a lot of dubs coming out of the West Coast trip here. And as Buffer comments here, third period began. Gallant made changes to all of his lines. It wasn't Halak's finest game, but he kept the Rangers in it.
So there, I think he's kind of dogging Gallant, no?
Dogging Gallant for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And then so we do have the back-to-back. We go Nashville, home to Arizona, Saturday, Sunday, this weekend. So I mean, you would imagine, Halak, Arizona, that's already set. But other than that, of the 7 remaining games, how many do you think Shesterkin starts?
The 7 remaining?
Eight. We're talking about this 8-game stretch.
Yeah.
We're guaranteeing he's starting
4.
Arizona.
6.
Half.
Okay, so 6 out of the 8, 1 being Arizona. I hope so. I hope it really should be 7. You know what I mean? 1 back-to-back, sure. What do you think, honestly, Michael? Other than back-to-back games, should there never even a conversation
When is this?
about the backup tender?
Sorry, when did back-to-back play a role?
Yeah, right?
They played back-to-backs back in
Yeah.
the day.
Yeah. And also, what do they do in the
In every
playoffs?
sport,
What do they do in
every
the
sport.
playoffs?
Oh,
Oh,
God, it's empty. Barnes' house
Oh my
this.
gosh, dude.
Every sport though, basketball and
Yeah.
it's just
the
a joke,
nervousness.
dude.
There is some nervousness
Do we talk about that?
involved
Yeah.
with the back-to-back, though. They're scared. They
I told
literally-
you, like statistically, backup tenders.
The butterfly.
There's a better winning percentage when
Butterfly.
having a backup tender for the back-to-back. Butterfly.
I would love to see
butterfly.
though,
It hurts them. Their hips.
if we did, but if
Probably.
specifically to the Rangers
It's
this
gotta,
year,
right?
I
Ugh.
guarantee
You can't do it.
Shesterkin in
I used to
half
be
the
a-
amount of games will have more wins than Halak does starting that second
I'm
game.
sorry, I
of
couldn't hear
back-to-back.
because of Michael. What were you saying?
I'm saying you're saying, statistically, like instead of the starting goalie going back to back, the backup is a better record. Not with the Rangers this year. I can tell you that much. Halak is not even going to win 5 games as a starter.
What is that? 4
Schlock.
starts so far?
Yeah,
4 starts?
Schlock.
Schlock
3
is
and
more
1.
like it. Like that?
Yeah, 3-1.
Okay, that's fine.
Over his next 4, how many does he win?
None.
4.
Yeah, okay. Tony, I can't
Tony.
believe, you know what I mean?
Stop
It's
it.
like, Tony. I want the same thing. I
Of
want
course.
the Rangers to return to the Stanley Cup. And it's just like you're okay with them moseying along, playing backups.
No one's
having an
moseying.
inept head coach. I'm sorry, Gallant is inept. What value does he bring? He's Aaron Boone of the NHL. I'm sorry.
That's
really do.
outrageous.
I really
That's
do.
ridiculous.
I really do.
No, I don't think so.
What value does he provide?
What, you're gonna blame him for changing up his lines in the third period? They had no offense second period. What's he supposed to do?
Just trust in his guys.
No bullshit. They weren't doing anything right, dude.
Does a great coach
Players
trust
not
in his guys?
executing.
What is a coach without his players?
Nothing.
Exactly. So to go to backups, to go to different line combinations, there's just no need for it.
I'd say, coach.
That's
you know,
ridiculous.
if I didn't play in a back-to-back, if I'm Shesterkin, you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking, coach, you don't believe in me? You don't trust me to get
Yeah.
the job done.
Yeah.
We need this.
You think I'm
Schlock.
that fragile?
Yeah. What do you think I'm? Lundqvist?
So I mean, in all seriousness, Tony, if you were the head coach of the Rangers, you would never place Shesterkin in a back-to-back situation.
Even if it was like big game, Bruins versus Avalanche.
Like back-to-back.
Back-to-back.
Bruins and Avalanche. No, yeah, probably it would.
So
Then
only, but if it's a somewhat weak competition, nope.
I'm just
backup tender,
saying,
backup
like,
tender.
yeah, Red Wings, good opportunity, sure, yes. Why not?
Why not just dominate?
Yeah.
And set the tone.
Yeah, instead of hide and be scared.
If Shesterkin started this game, Rangers still lose.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yes way.
No.
Yes way, dude.
And it
The
takes
energy's different on the ice.
energy's different on the ice because it takes
Bullshit.
The
No
guys on the
shit.
ice
Yes,
go,
shit.
oh well, we know Halak's not pitching the shutout tonight. Shesterkin can do it any night.
That's
He's one of the best
ridiculous.
bowlers in the league.
That's no. That first of all,
What
that's
do you
so
mean,
stupid.
no? He
You're
can't have a
telling me,
shutout any night?
You're telling me that the Rangers go out there because Halak is starting, like, oh
There's more
man,
pressure to score
we're
'cause the
probably
backup
gonna lose
tender's in.
this.
It's ridiculous.
There's
We're
more
probably gonna
pressure.
lose it. Really? Then why, when they're up 2-0, that they then start sucking?
Because there was pressure. Like, oh, 2's not gonna be enough. We gotta score 4.
Bullshit. That's bullshit. They do not have that mentality.
What'd you ask him?
What do you mean? They're professional hockey players, bro. They go out there and be like, oh, wow, it's up to nothing. This is why we still got to go. We still got to go. This is crazy. Oh, my God, I can't believe Halak starting. No shot, dude.
And just so we have you on the record here, those next 8 games, you're guaranteeing 6-2.
4-0.
Yes.
He said
What do you think?
4-0 with that goal.
Next
with the
4
goalie.
starts with Halak. Yes, 4-0.
All right, but I'm
4-0.
saying next 8 games for
4-0.
the Rangers. What do you think the record is?
2-6.
Wow. And then Gallant can't.
Goodbye.
Honestly-
Here comes.
So you know what? I think Barnes likes this shit.
Henrik
okay?
Lundqvist.
He loves
As the
firing
manager.
people, bro.
Yeah.
Set the tone.
Because I think the problem with our society is people don't take accountability.
Or Leach.
There's no
What
accountability.
about Leach? Bring him Leach
Brian
back
Leach,
from
yeah.
that
Leach.
94
Mark
team.
Messier.
Come
Tony.
on.
Mark Messier. Okay, you want a
Fire
winner,
up the
a
garden.
captain,
Why are you saying
a
Messier?
leader.
Yeah, no.
Messier?
It's
Messier,
Messier.
yeah.
All right, I mean, I said it,
Messier.
recovered pretty good there. But anyway, I hope they go 7-1, and the only
burn
game
the
they lose
Vanessa?
the stupid Halak game.
What are you doing, Renee?
Everything all right?
I don't know. Renee's trying to burn the studio down. I think.
Oh, okay.
I think she is.
But Tony, I'm telling you, my prediction next 8, unfortunately, 4-4.
That's ridiculous.
So
Why? Who they losing to?
inconsistency, bad leadership. I mean, I'll give
Bad
you the
leadership.
I'll give you the 4 losses right now.
Okay.
They're gonna lose to the Islanders. I think they're gonna lose the Halak game to Arizona, and
Why is it a
then
lock game?
back to back.
It is really bad.
Coming from Nashville,
So
that's a tough. It's tough.
it's a really tough road trip.
And then I think they lose to the Kings and lose to the Kraken, but they beat Detroit, Nashville,
San Jose,
and Anaheim. Crazier things have happened.
Hey,
I mean, I guess I can't argue with that statement.
I just think it's
Crazier
time for a
things have
change
happened.
in Ranger Nation.
Are we thinking about possibly November 28th, Devils at Rangers? We're thinking about making our way
November 28th.
Monday.
That's the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Tickets discounted.
How much are they?
Are they?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up. Something to keep in mind though. That would be pretty epic.
Barnes, go. You got
Probably like 175 a ticket. 170.
On this, I mean, obviously, this is like I'm sure they don't include fees, but
Do
it's
you
like
have
75.
the LA Barnaby credit card?
We'll have
Yeah.
to talk to.
Do you guys have a box at the Garden?
I thought you guys did.
Yeah.
we'll have to have a couple conversations about
That
that.
needs to be.
Maybe I can call Bobby Valentine. I'm sure he'll have a box.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. But something to keep an eye out for, Tony. But and I was gonna mention too, you gave it your best shot. End of the day,
Right.
43-40 with the picks.
I
So
know.
coming up just
So
short.
tough, dude.
We'll start another one now. What are we going? End of the NFL regular season? Like, what do you think is a good?
Oh
you
my
know,
gosh. Regular season ends when?
Like in
January?
January, or do you want to just do New Year's Eve? I mean, not New Year's Eve, but
Yeah.
like, our first show after the new year.
Okay.
Done?
Yeah.
All right. We both went Ravens tonight. Only 3 games scheduled for the NHL, so we'll do 1 and 1 in a common. What do you got for me?
All right.
Don't trust daily faceoff.
I know, right? You can't. I would imagine, I mean, these teams obviously, they've had an off day, so I don't think any backup tenders should be
Well,
starting. Anyway,
You would think, unless you're the New York Rangers.
dude. I guess jeez, dude. Flames Islanders is gonna be a really good game. I think I'll go with the Bruins tonight.
Blues are struggling.
Blues are struggling.
Missing Husso? Or
3-6. Oh, definitely, dude. Binnington,
I told you last year, Binnington sucks, dude.
3-4 in the season. One pitching a shutout so far this season, but 3.4 average goals against. I mean, that's not good. 879 save percentage. No bueno. St. Louis probably in like a 6-game, I think, 6-game skid, I think. Boston just lost their second game of the season against Toronto 2-1. But other than that, I mean, look at what they're scoring. I mean, they're scoring 5 against the Rangers, 6 against Pittsburgh, 4 against Columbus, 5 against Detroit. I mean, if Binnington is giving up, almost 4 goals a game, what's he going to give up against the Bruins?
Yeah.
7? All right. Give me the Bruins here. Say 5-2.
My pick, going with the Oilers. The Capitals just do not look good this year. I don't know if that's Darcy
Crazy.
or not, but I think they'll have no trouble against Washington tonight. I think the Oilers will outscore them maybe 6-3. And let's say a Kane hat trick, and McDavid and Draisaitl also have goals. But I definitely like what I see out of the Oilers, and I think as Campbell gets kind of comfortable with his fellow defensemen, those results will keep getting better and better. So that sets us up for Flames Islanders. Heads up, UBS Arena, 7:00 here. What are you thinking?
Wow, dude. Like I said, gonna be a tough matchup, I think, here. Calgary, not off to the best start. But but I think just from what I've seen, Islanders just got shut out actually by Detroit. In that game, they played atrocious defense. It's so tough. I would say honestly, wow, Calgary in the 4-game skid here. At home too. All those games were lost at home. Calgary minus 132. Give me Calgary, honestly.
All right.
I just think, tough overtime loss against New Jersey. And then now they're finally out of Calgary, traveling against the Islanders. Just had a tough defensive, drought, I guess, against Detroit. I think Calgary bound to turn it around. Law of averages here. Good offensive night here. Kadri, 2 goals and assist. Calgary wins 4-3.
I'll take the Islanders. Calgary not looking good. Love the talent on the team, but
I know, it's crazy.
Something's not right now. I'm going to say Islanders 3-2. Brock Nelson, the game winner in overtime. But that should be an exciting one from UBS Arena. And just to close with the hockey talk, I mentioned it quickly before, and Chokery commented earlier. What are your thoughts on him? He's not happy with Frederik Andersen, wants to go to Antti Ranta. Obviously they could also go to a trade. I mean, what do you think the best path forward is for the Carolina Hurricanes?
That's a very good question. I guess you can't knock Ranta. I mean, he did well in the postseason last year.
Yeah,
for them. I think Anderson should be doing better for sure. But I think speaking of chokery, I can play goalie better than our goalie.
I bet.
Wow. Also, I guess he's not a Ranta fan either. But I think
not.
I don't know.
Mackenzie Blackwood,
this
bro.
is what I would say.
Ew.
He's better than your goalie.
No, he's not.
I think
Right
Tony,
now,
he's so
just
bad.
do a
No way.
50-50 timeshare with them, and then if it's after a week or two, if it's still that bad, then I guess you gotta acquire somebody.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, I would still give Ranta some looks here. Why not?
And then if not, a King's ransom for Vejmelka or no?
Wow. That would be a crazy move if they got Vejmelka, yeah. But I mean, Coyote's gonna want some pieces, dude.
It's crazy too. I was thinking he's first overall pick. I didn't realize another team drafted him. He played overseas for a while. I didn't understand that whole story. It seems like that happens a lot. Guys get drafted, they never play for the team, and then somehow another team gets their rights.
Yeah, especially with men who obviously come from overseas too.
Yeah,
it's a little bit different when you do that. The international players.
And I mentioned to you last year, Anderson's numbers were great. And how about this? We want to talk about a good quality backup tender. Antti Ranta, 3-0. I mean, 1 overtime loss, but 2.42 goals against, 905 save percentage. Anderson, 2.72, 891 save percentage.
Not great. I mean, it could be too. Maybe Carolina giving up a lot of shots. I had to see how many shots he's faced.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have phenomenal defense last season. I guess. I guess maybe that Brady Shea was solid. They had that one. I forget the name of the defender, but I mean, it wasn't like they were oh man, lockdown D.
And how about this too? Last year, Ranta 15-5 it starts. I mean, for a backup tender, Tony. I mean, that's all you could ask for.
Oh my God, yeah, he's great, dude. He's a phenomenal goalie.
So something interesting to keep an eye out for is Carolina. Will look to not have a disappointing year after kind of a surprise breakout season last year that unfortunately, didn't fall their way in the playoffs. But I mean, they do sit at 8-3-1. So I mean, that's a solid start, and they're actually the team that's ahead of us in the standings, 2 extra points. So who knows? Maybe another playoff series in the future against the Carolina Hurricanes. Do you think they ride it out with those guys, or do you think they ended up getting someone?
They ride it out.
Ranta?
I think Anderson turns it around, honestly.
Yeah. But why is Ranta because I've just looked at his stats and stuff. It seems like it's kind of set that he has to be a backup. Is there any? He's only 33. He's not 40 or anything.
I don't know. I guess maybe I'd like to see honestly how many games he's played. What I thought was he not on Arizona?
He was on Arizona as a backup.
Are you sure?
Yes. Yeah, he didn't have that many starts.
Interesting.
So
I don't know who was ahead of him in Arizona at the time. I don't think it was.
Oh, Kemper in Arizona?
He was on Minnesota before.
Oh, okay. There's somebody else that's on a good team now, and they were Arizona's goalie, and I just forget who it is. But we'll have to touch base with the research department on that one.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe he just can't handle a workload of a starting goalie. Maybe because I mean, I feel like even when he was on the Rangers, when he was back up, I feel like he got a lot of looks. He did really well. But again, maybe it's just the workload of being a starting goalie. Like over time of the season, his numbers
he
decrease.
wears down. Yeah. So something interesting, definitely to keep an eye out for. But we know everybody's been waiting for it, and after the great packs we pulled on Friday, it is time for the Prism Pack Reveal. Saves so much on the pipes, Tony. You have no idea. But can we get the Chicago Bulls song up? Like, why is it not up right now?
It should be cute.
I mean, unbelievable.
He's like, what's his name on the Dave Rothenberg and Rick DiPietro show? What's their producer's name?
Santi?
Yeah, Santiago.
Yeah.
He's like him over there. Never having anything queued up. Oh,
what the heck?
You should play that. Just Barnes hates it already.
Alan's Parsons product. This is probably the song.
No, this is
the album.
This is
it is. Wow, it's got like
the album art.
All right, here we go.
If you guys weren't here last week, we pulled LeBron James, who's averaging, I think it's 28% from the field goal this season for the Los Angeles Lakers. Yeah, it's pretty pathetic. And also, this just in, breaking news as of an hour and a half ago now, Anthony Davis is on the trading block for the Los Angeles Lakers.
Something to keep an eye out for. But from the Denver Nuggets, former second-round pick turned MVP.
Shut the fudge up.
Nikola Jokic.
Wow, dude.
So one of the better pulls we've had. Jokic is an animal. You've always respected him.
Love him. Back-to-back MVP.
A great card to pull. From the Boston Celtics, the former Oklahoma State shooting guard, Marcus Smart.
Let's freaking go.
So a solid fundamental player. Be interested.
It's a great
to see.
pack.
Oh, and this is kind of like a holographic.
Yeah.
So
got
that's
some fun.
Pretty cool. All right.
Like the Pokemon cards, Brian.
A couple role players to finish out. First, from the Memphis Grizzlies, Kyle Anderson.
Nice.
Been around.
You know what they call him? His nickname? Slow-mo.
Slow-mo. Okay, that's interesting. And then this is an instant impact from the New Orleans Pelicans, Trey Murphy.
He has bounce, dude. Have you seen his? You should see his.
And I guess 40% beyond the arc in college. So a guy that can light it up from the perimeter.
Very good pack. Very, very young.
I mean, 2 out of 4 All-Stars.
And dude, I'm telling you, see that kid's stat.
A lot of hard work.
Kid's highlights. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's definitely some hope. The collection keeps growing. But we know Tony just wants some more jersey cards. That seems like
we're gonna get one. I think we're gonna get
very rare, apparently, right? How did that pull more?
I think we're definitely gonna probably get one more, and it's probably gonna be like a veterans jersey card, like a T-Mac game worn.
Yeah,
Magic
from Orlando Magic.
Yeah.
What?
I don't know.
Oh, Magic Johnson.
Magic Johnson, a guy card we have as well.
Yeah, we do.
But jersey card.
Something that's awesome there. What I wanted to mention though, before we wrap it up here, Tony, I mentioned it quickly. Your thoughts on the Edwin Diaz extension for the New York Mets? Record breaking for a reliever, over 20 million. You didn't think they would go that high? They do.
Definitely didn't think that they would go that high. It's gonna be interesting to me. I mean, obviously, after this season, Diaz said he wants to stay in New York, but he's gonna want the money, right? I mean, you look at his season. I think he had like a 1.3 ERA overall, 62 innings pitched. He had like 40 strikeouts, I think, something like that. Obviously a phenomenal season. People like Brian thought he would buckle. No way he's going to be this good for the rest of the season. And he really was, though. He was a phenomenal bullpen piece, a great closer. Sometimes even getting 4 or 5 outs when you needed him to. And of course, we've seen the struggle that he's been in. And, when you look at his numbers, 2021 was pretty bad. He had like a 3.6 ERA. 2020 was the COVID season. Short sample size, but I think his ERA was like a 1.7. And then before that, when he was on Seattle, he was good. Honestly, he was really good. I think he had another season where he had a low 1 ERA. Other than that, it was like high 1s, low 2s. I think. I think a lot of his bad spots, just like kind of like how Chapman looked too. You just tend to remember their bad outings and their good outings, and of course, Diaz is blowing leads. But he had
breaking news.
32 saves.
Breaking news.
Frank Reich has been fired by the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow.
So we just talked about Ellinger's struggles, going away from Matty Ice. Frank Reich out as head coach of the Indianapolis Colts.
Wow, dude. Who's they hiring?
It's tough.
Brian Barnaby.
Rex Ryan? Culture changer? I feel like you used to like Rex, but his work on ESPN has deterred you, I think.
I don't think he wants to coach anymore.
I think
the
he
only
does.
place
He
I like
does.
him is on when he comes on Dave.
Yeah. He was on this morning.
Yeah.
Herm. What about Herm for the Colts, huh?
Dude, that
He's back at ESPN. I don't know if you saw over the weekend. He's back.
No, I haven't seen it.
Yeah, because he got fired from Arizona State. But I
Loser.
mean, I think honestly though, the Colts had no choice here. Terribly disappointing last couple of years. You think about last year missing the playoffs altogether.
Ever
This
since
year, flat on their face.
what's his name left?
Fire in there.
Early retirement.
Manning.
No, not Manning.
Andrew Luck?
Andrew Luck.
Andrew Luck.
They got they were blessed with those two, but then
but-
they couldn't put the pieces around him.
Yeah, but I mean,
You think
who
new
would-
head coach comes in, Matt Ryan's back starting?
No, because you're just gonna go to an interim guy. I don't know who it's gonna be.
Offensive
But
coordinator?
I think it's over for the Colts though. 'cause
Yeah, it's done. So, dude.
You've messed around.
Never
too
want
much.
to fire the coach like this season, dude.
But overall, Tony, so you're
Excited
you're
about
pleased with
Diaz.
this,
Yeah, I
with this
am.
deal.
I mean, keeping him was a huge, I guess, was high on the agenda for the offseason here. I mean, like I said, he was a phenomenal piece for our bullpen. For a while, he was one of the only guys you can go to with some confidence. So I think great get. Diaz is happy. Mets fans are happy. Why
Any
not?
concern
Spend
on the
money
back
on him.
end?
Like how at the
Effectiveness.
tail end of the 5 years
the
here.
fourth, fifth year plus the option. For
Yeah, he has an
6.
option for 6, no
Opt
trade
out after
clause,
2?
opt out after 2. Yeah, but let's take it 1 year at a time.
I honestly think I'm not kidding. I mean, obviously anything can happen as you get further, down the road here. But I think this coming season is
Yeah.
the most important season. Like if it
Yeah.
all goes well, I think
Mhm.
this will be a successful deal. But I just think Edwin Diaz is a confidence guy, and if he has like a 6 ERA this year and then starts
Yeah.
getting booed, I think
Oh,
it's
no,
gonna
it's
go
over.
downhill quick.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like any big contract you get, if you don't perform, you're gonna get booed. It's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
And one thing he needs, like you said, he's had these good seasons.
Mhm.
He needs a good follow up year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's very important here.
Yeah.
And also shout out Russell Heenley
Actually, I want to shout out someone too. after that.
wins at Mayakoba. Scheffler tied for 4th, Tony. So Tony Finau misses the cut. So
Mm.
Tony had the better pick there. But what were you gonna say on the way out?
And
Tony?
you were about to say Russell. Did you say Russell?
Russell Heenley.
I
Russell
will
Westbrook.
I will shout out Russell Westbrook shooting 33% from the field. That's more than LeBron and Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. Ironic, is it not, Barnes?
Crazy.
Wow.
Crazy times that we live in.
Mhm.
But what a show. Honestly, a marathon, almost 90 minutes.
I
I
know,
mean,
crazy.
dude, it's Monday. It's the trifecta,
Yeah.
and it's a wrap of the weekend.
By the
Yeah.
way, Brian, I want you to check me on this.
Yeah.
Because this sounds pretty crazy, but the Phillies released Syndergaard.
Okay, so this just started this year, by the way. It was always has become a free agent because their contract expired. But now we
Right.
just post released because the people are free agents. That's all it means is they become a free agent because their contract expired. They
So
didn't
he's
sign an
just a free
extension.
agent.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
That's it. But
okay.
they did that for all the Yankees too. It's
How
enough.
fucking annoying is that?
stupid.
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 Why?
But free agency should be fun. Can't wait to cover that.
I know. I'm really sad baseball is over, honestly.
Yeah, but it's all about next year now. So let's go.
Yeah.
The future.
Let's
is
go to the
promising.
world of next year. No,
but,
Michael didn't like that.
But what a show, what a life, and really appreciate everybody tuning in. What a show, what a life. Continuing to comment, like, and subscribe, as well as check out the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, and Renee in costume, as well as the merch, downtimetv.com. Everybody enjoy the day, enjoy the games, and we will see you mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.